Ciao a tutti, ciao friends. I just got back from Italy and I was so inspired by the artisanal quality of all the vegan cheeses that I tasted there. So today, I want to give you a sneak peek into my upcoming new cookbook, The Vegan Creamery, which hits shelves on September 16th. Today, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite Italian cheeses. It's ricotta, but this one is very different because it's made from what I consider, well, the new cashew. This recipe does have cashews, but it also has my new favorite seed, watermelon seed kernels. Yes, I'm telling you, this is going to be all the rage very, very soon because so many of my recipes in my book contain this, and it is fantastic. It makes the milkiest milk, and I guarantee you that this ricotta is the milkiest ricotta you will ever make. So let's get started. First, we're going to start by making the milk. So I'm adding 1 cup of watermelon seed kernels. There was a little bit of watermelon seed powder flour. I didn't have quite enough of the kernels, but I did have some of the watermelon seed flour, which is simply watermelon seeds ground up. I'm also adding 1/2 cup of cashews, and the combination of the two will make the perfect size curd. Now we're going to blend this. All right, here's our lovely milky milk. I'm going to run this through a nut milk bag to get rid of the pulp from the watermelon seeds. Just cashews alone wouldn't require this, but the watermelon seeds are a little bit more fibrous, and we want to get rid of the pulp so we get the creamiest curds possible. And I'm going to do this right into my pot in which I'm going to heat the milk and make the curds. Okay, let's take a look here and just see how much pulp we get. I would freeze that, and then when I have enough, I would make something like my pulp crackers. You can turn these into chocolate chip cookies. There's so many uses for this pulp, and I have recipes in my book to utilize the pulp for making your nut milk. All right, I'm going to add to the milk about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to bring this to a simmer, and it's going to form these beautiful little curds that will drain from the whey. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I think that is a dog hair. My daughter, Cammie, when she went to elementary school, said she had a best friend that they used to eat lunch together. She said that they really liked each other. One of the reasons was because they shared with each other that they were the only ones in the school that occasionally found a dog hair in their lunches. I adopt always, and my dogs have always had fur, and we do our best to brush them and clean it up, but occasionally one sneaks into something, and luckily, you're not eating this. Okay, so I have this over maybe medium heat, and you want to just be careful, but what's going to happen is that little curds are going to form, and that's because watermelon seeds, not the cashews, but the watermelon seeds, are high in albumin, which is the same protein that you find in egg whites. So they're going to coagulate when exposed to heat. Now, they form a pretty firm curd, actually, if it's just watermelon seeds. So we've added the cashews to this in order to soften it just so to get the creamy, perfect curd for ricotta. Okay, and you can see that something is beginning to happen here. And we want to cook this until it is completely turned into curds and whey. Now I'm not stirring this, I'm just sort of letting this sit. Occasionally scraping the sides, but that's it. Just to sort of move the curds. And this has to come to a complete simmer. Oh, the curds are beginning to form. You can see that. Okay, you want to cook this until the whey is relatively clear when you try to separate it from the curds. Don't stir it. You don't want to stir it and break up the curds. Look at that. Look at these beautiful curds. Now we're ready to drain this. So what I have here are a couple of ricotta molds. If you don't have these are readily available online. And every Italian household, I believe, has them. They're like, I don't know, 50 cents in Italy. You can go ahead and just use a regular old sieve. A sieve works as well. If you want a beautiful ricotta that you can unmold like that, then get one of these. Otherwise, just use a sieve. It's not a big deal. All right, so now we're going to pour this through these molds. So you may be wondering, where do I get watermelon seeds and what are they? Am I supposed to like eat a whole bunch of watermelons and spit out the little black seeds and then peel them? What do I do? And watermelon seeds are actually a snack, a common snack that you find in places like India and China and even Africa. And it's a particular type of melon that's grown primarily for their seeds. And this is the kernel inside the seed. So it's a watermelon seed kernel. That's why they're white. And where can you get them? Well, watch until the end of the video, and I have a list of resources where you can order them online. So there's a little bit more that I didn't catch, so I'm going to pour this over here because there's more curds. And we're going to let this drain for about an hour, 2 hours or so until it's firm enough to unmold, and then it is ready. So I'm going to let this drain for a little bit, and then I'm going to pour the rest of this over there. So I want to get all the curds if I can. Over the years, I've made all kinds of ricotta. One of the first was made out of tofu. I pureed tofu and tried to season it like ricotta. And then I moved on to an almond ricotta that was published in Artisan Vegan Cheese. I've made cashew ricotta. I've made all sorts of ricotta, but I'm telling you, I have not ever made a ricotta as milky and as sweet and delicious as this. My beautiful ricotta has been draining for a couple of hours. I actually put it in the fridge because I had to make lunch, actually. And so it's been a few hours. And I'm going to unmold it now. Look at the way that's gathered. And now I'm going to unmold my ricotta. I'm going to put a little bit on this piece of bread. Oh my God, this is so creamy. I'm going to just drizzle it with a little bit of vegan honey, a little bit of olive oil on it. I'm going to give it a try. It's so light. It's so creamy. It's so milky. Oh my God, this is the best ricotta I've ever made. This ricotta has so many uses, whether you're making lasagna or stuffing pasta shells or making cannoli. Just let your imagination go wild. Or it's the perfect breakfast ricotta. Watermelon seeds are really high in protein as well. So this is not a nutrition-free concoction of just oil and starch, which is what most of the ricottas in the marketplace are. This is packed with nutrition, packed with protein, and it's absolutely delicious. I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you for watching The Vegan Good Life with Miyoko, and check out more recipes that feature watermelon seeds and more in the Vegan Creamery, launching on September 16th.